To keep your competitive edge and attract and retain top talent, you need to recognize people as individuals with behavioral-based leadership. As you know, the best leaders are those who work on the strengths of their people and build dynamic and cohesive teams. That's exactly what Lorraine Bosse-Smith has been doing for the past 27 years. She's the founder of Fit Leader Formula, where leadership meets wellness and equates to success. Lorraine is a certified behavioral consultant with thousands of clients and is the author of 8 published books. She's a speaker, trainer, consultant, coach, and author. Lorraine helps leaders unlock the full potential of their teams and increases bottom lines by challenging you to defy the status quo leadership and committing to behavioral-based leadership. Lorraine's title for you is Transform Your Team. Please welcome Lorraine Bosse-Smith.
Well, what Joel didn't tell you is I love movies, especially the ones where there's the good guys and the bad guys, and the good guys win, like Captain America. Is everybody familiar, heard about Captain America? If you're not, he is a World War II experiment to create the super soldier. So he's really strong, really fast, indestructible. And in the first movie, he even gets frozen to wake up 70 years later. In the second movie, it's called The Winter Soldier. The first scene is just a crack up. He's out running the National Mall in DC, about 3.5 miles. He's out there running, only one other guy out there. And he's running more like me. But Captain America is a gentleman besides being a soldier. So as he comes, he's passing on your left, he says, and the guy goes, whatever. Well, seconds later, he loops again. And yes, he says it, on your left. And the guy's like, really? And, trying to keep going. All right, third time around, he hears him coming seconds later, and he's like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. On your left, he gets furious, and he's all angry, and he wants to keep up, right, with Captain America. He runs, but he has to give up. His legs are just wobbly, his lungs are burning. He goes and leans against a tree, he gives up. Captain America comes over, and of course they talk, and finds out he's also a soldier called the Falcon. I laugh so hard I spit soda out my nose because I'm competitive, and I'm sure some of you are too. And so sometimes when somebody overachieves, we get upset, and I can relate. I was out hiking dark 30 before the heat with the dog, and I'm on a 2-mile loop, and this young kid comes running by. Good morning. Really? I'm barely awake. And it felt like moments later. I don't think it was quite seconds. But nonetheless, he really did come by me again. And I'm like, what? Good morning. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I was upset. The Falcon was upset. But you know what? We all have choices and what we do with those type of situations. And so, no, I didn't trip the guy. Kind of felt like it. But the Falcon in the movie, instead of being angry and upset over it, he decided, this is Captain America after all. And he was inspired. In fact, he was drawn to his superb performance. And that is why I believe the superhero movies are so popular right now, is we all are looking for somebody to lead us. We want to be inspired. We want someone who has honor and integrity, who's going to challenge us to great heights, even if there's a lot of work involved and we get stuck, but we want to be better. And that person challenges us. And we want a Captain America, and we will follow him anywhere. And Captain America chooses his leadership, and it is at a great cost and expense. Sometimes, especially in our companies, positions give leadership roles. That doesn't always mean that that person's going to be a good leader. Good leader is really about influencing those relationships. And so over time, if we're striving for that, we are building trust, we are building rapport, and that relationship with that person, and therefore they want to follow us. But here's something I want to share with you is great leadership is an art and a science, because great leadership is going to recognize the individual. We can't do what we have been doing all along. We have to recognize in the world that we live in now, people as individuals. We are all unique. And that is what, from good to great. And that is the core of the program that I give. It's how. How do we lead? It's behavioral-based leadership. You all have a personality, and some of you have a lot of personality, I can tell. But that's what we do. In my Transform Leadership, what we do first and foremost is we will identify who you are, commander, coach, counselor, conductor, and then we look at your strengths, and then we're going to look at those pitfalls that we have. And I have 2 questions that I ask. And in my book, which is International Seller, it's got 20 questions. I had a radio show host live tell me, 2 questions, really? Come on. I am so complex. You cannot do that in 2 questions, or 20 questions. And so I said I would do it in 2. And I did, live on air. I told him who he was, what his strengths were, what his pitfalls were, and by the way, this is what really drives your wife nuts. And there was silence, which you don't want on national live radio. So I've done these for nearly 30 years, thousands of people, helping them be better leaders. And so I have about a 98% accuracy rate. So we will find out, are you a commander, a coach, a counselor, conductor, and what does that mean for your teams? Because those leaders who understand these principles are the ones that will have high-performing teams. They're the ones that will have engagement, lower absenteeism. They're the ones that will have excellent teams who will follow them anywhere. Those who don't are going to have disengagement, and ultimately what it really boils down to, which we all have to be care about, is that bottom line. They're going to lose revenue, because when you lose people, that costs you money. So the behavioral-based leadership is what we have to do in order to move ourselves forward. So a story that I like to use quickly is I ran a marathon in 2010 to celebrate beating a very serious disease. And so I was out there running, just doing my thing, beautiful morning. I thought I was the caboose, because in all honesty, I don't even run like the Falcon. I'm not even that fast. So no speed records. But about halfway through, I had to adjust my shoes. So I'm down here, and I'm loosening the laces, which is very common because your feet swell, right? But these people, unbeknownst to me, were behind me going, no, they were mortified. And they're like, you can't stop. Please don't stop running. You've been our guide. We've been following you. You have been our pace. And I'm like, here I was thinking I was all by myself. No, I'm just tying my shoes, loosening them up. They were so relieved and so grateful and thanked me. So when I started running again, I realized it wasn't for me. It wasn't my own goals, wasn't my own aspirations. It was a common goal now. And even though I didn't ask for that position, I was leading people to their victory. And together, we crossed that finish line. You all have people looking to you each and every day, moment by moment, to lead them, to be that guy, to be that super leader, because we're not superheroes, but you can be a superhero. Because when you transform your leadership to understand and apply the behavioral leadership principles, you will receive super results. Thank you.